Hello, America, and to our friends around the world, greetings and welcome back to March is Women's Month. For the last few days, to the last 10 days, I've been profiling a lot of mothers. And you might think, well, that's just because they're bad mothers. No, it's women. It's all women. Because today we're profiling childcare and the women hired as babysitters or daycare workers, fields that are dominated by women. The first one is a babysitter in North Carolina arrested for allegedly forcing toddler into scalding hot bath. I don't know about you, but I'm old enough to remember they had safety commercials on television to use the inside of your forearm to test the water temperature, to make certain it wasn't too hot. Because the reasoning was is that your hands are desensitized due to being calloused from working, but the inside of your forearm was accessible to dipping it in water. And if it felt blistering, then the thought process would be that if it's blistering for you, it's blistering for an infant or a toddler. The other thing I want to draw a point to is, as I've noted, a lot of these stories this week have been coming out of People magazine, but in addition to the fame, notoriety that these women are receiving by being outed for their criminal behavior. Do you notice how short a lot of these reports are? Now, granted, this one is out of Daily Express. The other one will be out of People magazine. But do you notice how short these profiles on women's criminal behavior? Right now, as I'm recording this, Twitter is all, a buzz about that Netflix show about a teen boy doing harm, a fictional account of a fictionalized account of an ending done to a girl that was loosely based apparently on an illegal immigrant or something to that effect. Anyway, they race wash it, and it's just it's. But you notice how you've got your Charlotte Proudmans and other feminazi types coming out of the woodwork, saying, "Oh, whoa, whoa, misogyny bad," but in reality, when it comes to women who have done criminal behavior, you get these short, you know, half a page articles about you get these biographies about why it's bad that boys are, being, doing action, why, but you don't get the deep dive into the motivations behind the democide that these women are doing against boys or children in general or men or towards other women. I just got done railing on X about the Pacific Northwest obsession with my girl, my girl sport ball. Oh no, Title IX. But these same people have been deathly silent on the Title IX abuses of the kangaroo courts that boys and men have been subject to since 2012. Yeah, abolish it all in Title IX. If it can't stand up on its own, it doesn't need to be funded. And these mock kangaroo courts need to be ended because they use what's called preponderance of the evidence versus due process. And a lot of it's considered like ex parte, star chamber, one sided accusations, and then the judge rules based off of one sided, allegations as if it's fact. And they're not even judges. But I'm getting off into a tangent. North Carolina babysitter faces serious charges after toddler's bath time turned into a nightmare. A 40-year-old Amesha Johnson was taken into custody, 1-count felony child abuse, and they went to a children's hospital in High Point, North Carolina. I mean, these are nationwide. America, you've got a flippin' problem with abusive women everywhere, not just in the Pacific Northwest or in Florida or California. It's all over the country, as I've been documenting this entire month. High Point Police Department, SVU, spoke to several people and learned a toddler, 1-year-old boy, injured while taking a bath at the babysitter's home. So this woman is very well aware of what she was doing. This was intentional. And she's being held instead of being released. Finally, somebody's actually holding a woman from being more abusive. The child is suffering. Let's see. The mother says that by the time she got to the house and saw her son, the toddler wasn't even crying any longer and was out of it. This is insane. This was intentional. I mean, this woman intended to do harm. The child's got graft surgeries going on. It's absolutely disgusting. She should never be released from prison. Somebody was saying that the burns on the child's hands were fortunately only second degree and did not require surgery. A long road to recovery for the little boy. The mother said he had to have his first skin graft earlier in March, and the procedure included taking skin from the child's thighs and grafting it onto his feet. This is insane. I mean, the evils that women are doing to our children need to be addressed, but instead everybody's more, oh no, girls sport ball being invaded by, yeah, get out of here with that nonsense. Who cares? Just cancel it all. This is the issue. These women that are bent on harming our boys, that is the real crime going on in society. You know, the link is in the description for the archive. This is just, I don't know. I mean, to me, this is just so disheartening. And then this case out of Kentucky, daycare worker accused of intentionally tearing off handful of 1-year-old's hair, leaving a 6 centimeter of scalp exposed. Kesha Cochran arrested on criminal abuse charges. She admitted, apparently, to pulling the toddler's hair and removing a substantial amount from their head. Leitchfield, Kentucky, at a daycare on Tuesday, March 11th. So this is 3 weeks ago. As I keep reminding everybody, these stories aren't just abstract and random throughout history. You go through, Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it, and other social media, and you find that these people will post things from 2019 or 2010. No, these stories, I am deliberately making certain that they are recent. I'm doing everything I can to make certain that the headlines have the date included of being in March or as old as February. Yes, originally perhaps the initial investigation or the initial act may have happened, a year or 2 years back, but the culminating investigation has been done, or the judgment reached has been done in February or March of 2025. These are for everybody to save so that within the next month, the next 6 months, we can inundate our local legislators with the rampant gynocracy that's going on. I mean, right now you've got that fucking cuckold Mike Johnson, who's a rhino, unwilling to prosecute Jasmine Crockett for attacking that reporter in Capitol Hill. I mean, he's a pathetic, spineless waste of flesh. First, he declares war on men last month, and now he's refusing to prosecute or censure an abusive representative in the House. Anyway, Kesha Cochran, 24, arrested following the incident, and they began investigating after they received a report of the child being injured, and that it was suspicious nature. Surveillance footage from the facility showed Cochran was overseeing a group of small children when she approached a child, a 1-year-old, who had not been named by police, and seemingly unprompted pulled the child's hair. They do they're doing the best they can to keep from identifying whether, not just by name, but whether it's a boy or girl. And I'm willing to bet because of this, it is a boy, because they do not want the perception that women are deliberately abusing boys, as they often do. And I apologize if you have to pause and rewind, but take a look at her mugshot. This Kesha Cochran may not be a tall woman, but she's a large woman. I mean, just look at her freaking picture here. She's what, 5'4", but look how wide she is. If you extrapolate the red lines there, that's 6 inches, and you put that from shoulder to neck. She is a good, what? She's a hefty woman. Look at the size of her head. Her head is as wide as it is, tall, and her shoulders. If she's 5'6", a good portion, she's, as the saying goes, she's as tall as she is wide. Victim began screaming uncontrollably. Go figure. I mean, wouldn't you? Getting scalped. This daycare, I hope the parents sue them into oblivion, in addition to this woman being locked up for the rest of her life. These women are violent, and society has done a massive disservice catering to the gynocracy and allowing women into all of these positions to whitewash the crimes that women do. You've got the push in Great Britain to end prisons for women, and that is a growing trend in the United States. This stuff can't be allowed to happen here. It has to be pushed back on. Yeah. Otherwise, you're going to see this happening more and more often. I don't think our society can handle it. We're already going to see a population collapse, and just by virtue of the numbers of people avoiding, men and women avoiding each other because of propaganda, whether it's factual or perception, or false reality perception. The whole "how dare this man not take the elevator with me," on the heels of just a month or two ago of women outright saying choosing the bear over the man. That man has every right to avoid taking an elevator with a woman, not knowing what false allegations she's going to put on against him. Compounded furthermore by why bother having a relationship with a woman when she's just going to be married to you or live with you long enough to turn around and have the state seize all of your assets and properties to give to her. And then if you had children with her, to never see your children again because the state's going to give them to her. When it's fully documented that women abuse the children in their female dominated homes far more than a man and woman stable relationship, or for that matter, solo father dominated homes. In fact, the reports show that there is no demonstrably difference between a father-led, quote unquote, single home versus a mixed couple, man and woman stable home. The problem is women. And as belligerent and as, oh no, misogynist as that may sound, the numbers don't lie. Fortunately, this is the end of March. Unfortunately, this is not the last one that I've collected for this month. Keep yourselves safe, document everything, report it, and prosecute it when it happens.